Good morning, everyone. So, what does it mean to lead national cyber defense in one of the most attacked countries on earth? According to Microsoft's latest report, 3.5% of global cyber attacks are directed at Israel. An astonishing figure for such a small country. During Rise and Lion operation alone, we identified almost 1,200 social engineering campaigns, each reaching thousands of Israelis, meaning every citizen in Israel was targeted several times in only 12 days. And this is only from social engineering. Before I continue, I want to pause and express my gratitude to our host for this important event and for the invitation to be here today. So thank you, Itzik and Gili and all the Tel Aviv University for another impressive conference. And thank you all for coming, especially our guests from abroad. Being here today is a big support for us, a big support for Israel. So welcome to Israel. So when I joined the INCD in last May, after over 30 years serving in the IDF, we already was at war. But soon enough, we reached a new peak in cyber attacks. And I want to share with you 4 interesting trends that stood out during the Rise and Lion operation and afterwards. The first happened during the Rise and Lion operation, when the Weizmann Institute Center was hit by a missile. The attack didn't start there. A short time before, the attackers sent threatening emails to faculty members. At the same time, they took control of a street camera overlooking the building that had just been bombed. In addition, they published leaked data to deepen fear. This is another example of how today's enemies don't separate physical attacks and cyber attacks. The second trend is the use of cyber-based influence campaign, a central front in today's wars. For example, during one of the missile attacks, Iran launched a huge SMS campaign posing as the Home Front Command, the Israel Home Front Command, telling people not to enter shelters and spreading fake alerts about fuel and food shortages, all in order to spark confusion and panic. The third one is using cyber attacks to target key figures in Israel. The Iranians gained access to parking cameras, road cameras, and other feeds to track the movement of Israel VIPs, with the aim of building an operation to target them and to harm them. Once again, cyber attacks are the infrastructure behind this entire operation. The final trend I will highlight is the strategic shift from CNE to CNA. Over the last few months alone, we have handled 20 CNA incidents in the national level. On last Yom Kippur, an attack on Shamir Medical Center was halted. At first, it looked like a classic ransomware. The Chilean ransomware group claimed that they have stolen sensitive data. But after a short time, the ransom demand vanished because they found out that the real actor was Iran, using them as the front and even trading on their tools. it's a clear example of how some nation states hide behind ransomware groups. But all of this is the war we have already experienced. Now let's imagine together the next war in cyberspace. Join me on a brief journey to the first CBW, cyber-based war. Looking at the evolution of cyber attacks over time, I see the cyber warfare development as 4 generations. The live and let live generation, the exploration generation, the hybrid warfare generation, and the future one, the cyber-based war generation. During the first generation, we witnessed 2 parallel battlefields. On one side, a traditional kinetic warfare, soldiers with rifles, tanks, and fighter jets. On the other, cyber warfare, digital expert fighting behind keyboards. Actually, there was no real operational integration between them. In the second generation, the 2 worlds began to interact. We saw cyber operation trying to disable physical capabilities, like weapon systems or production lines. And from the kinetic side, we saw efforts to disrupt cyber operations, targeting infrastructure, servers, and routers. The third generation is the hybrid warfare, which is where we are today. In this generation, we see a synergy between the kinetic and the cyber capabilities, operate in concert, from planning to execution. Russia, for example, began the war against Ukraine with the cyber attack on critical infrastructure, use it as an early strike, alongside the kinetic operation. Iran, Israel, of course, is another example of hybrid warfare. The 4th generation is the one that concerns me the most. I call it the no-bullet war, or the first CBW. This war will start and end in the cyberspace. In this war, the enemy will be defeated and surrendered without any kinetic capability being used. Picture a country under a cyber siege, with its power station down in darkness, with its communications silenced, with its transportation paralyzed, and with its water supply disrupted. In this war, there is no physical front line, since the old digital infrastructure is the front line. Some of us may think it sounds like science fiction, but we all remember what happens when we fail to imagine the threat correctly and do not prepare for the right kind of war. If we can't imagine the first CBW, we won't be able to prepare for it. So please, put on our enemy glasses and think about the following development. First, we are absolutely dependent on digital capabilities in every area of our lives. And then there is the great AI explosion, gaining control and deciding for us more and more. Add to that the rise of computing, of quantum computing, that could be destructive in the wrong hands. The social media is the primary source of information for the public. Great target for deepfake and influence campaign. Now please, try again to imagine the cyber siege, the first CBW. So, if I've managed to convince you that we need to be prepared for the first CBW, I would now like to present some key direction for national readiness. First, we must choose to see every threat as an opportunity. The same forces I mentioned, transforming our world, are also our most powerful tools for cyber defense. Our national cyber defense concept must be data-driven defense, combining cutting-edge technologies with the vast operational experience we have gained. A smart and secure migration to the cloud will enable us to create wide-share cyber defense and give even the least resource organization access to the world-class protection offered by the global tech giants. We must fully embrace AI in cyber and prepare along three main axes. First, AI for cyber defense, using AI to detect, prevent, and respond to attack in the machine speed. Second, cyber defense for AI, protecting AI models, data, and pipelines at the product level, but also at the national level. And third, the battle of agents, AI versus AI, preparing for a world where autonomous offensive and defensive agents confront each other in real time. Quantum computing is also give us a historic opportunity to create a new, far stronger layer of secure communication and cyber defense. Another very important part of the national cyber defense concept is the understanding that every citizen has a role to play. We must invest in cyber education, awareness, and personal responsibility. Every one of us is a brick in the wall of national defense. In fact, in cyber, nothing is national. It is a borderless international domain. If attackers can strike from anywhere to everywhere, then our answer must be a shared one, a network of trusted nations acting as a single cyber defense force. As part of this vision, we are about to sign a strategic agreement with our friend from Germany to develop together the next generation of national cyber defense. Dear partners, we cannot choose when the first CBW will start, but we can choose to be prepared when it does. I wish you all a productive and inspiring Cyber Week. Thank you.